Super Dave here with another Super Dave review. Super Dave here with another exciting Masterverse Revolution set of action figures. That's right, we have watched the Masters of the Universe Netflix Revolution series, and it is cool, so I really wanted to take a look at our Gwildor and Orko set here, which of course are seen in Revolution. Not going to be giving any huge spoilers, but to say that you will really enjoy it. There's the artwork wrapping around on the side. You're going to see a really cool storyline with these two. And there they are on the side with some of the artwork. And then there's the back with some cool product shots. And there's also a little write-up. If you want to pause and read that, you can. There's the other selling points, and we'll be taking a look at Skeletech. But just take a look at there. That is so cool. There's Masterverse written on the top. There's a barcode if you're interested in that. But we're going to go ahead and break open this set and check them out over here in Eternia. And deep inside of the Valley of Eternia, just outside the forest, we're going to be taking a look at our Orko and Gwildor. Let's first take a look at their accessories. There are no extra hands for this set, but Orko comes with a stand that's translucent and it is articulated. We'll take a look at that. He also comes with this blue effect piece here that we'll be taking a look at, as well as an extension of his scarf, which I wish they had painted the edges of this scarf gold like it should have been, just like we see on the front part of the scarf. It's supposed to be that way on the back. That hangs out the back. I'll show you how that's attached in just a moment. It's actually colored that way in the movie, in the series. And then he comes with these little effect pieces here, which are really cool. You can see these little blue effect pieces that can go around his hands. They have a little slit in them so you can snap them right around his hands. Have a little bit of a glitter texture on the inside of that translucent plastic, which is really cool. And so that is Orko's accessories. And then we have Gwildor, and he comes with this cool little plastic wood looking staff with the little jewel on the top. Is actually a little crystal that is on the top there. If we can zoom in and look at it there, really neat. Yes. And then he also comes with his cosmic key. That's right, his cosmic key, which we're used to seeing with Gwildor. And then here's the spoiler. He actually comes with the power sword, which has been adjusted for He-Man, that we'll see him use at the end of the series, which I won't tell you anything big about it, but there is something that Gwildor, with his magic / technology abilities, does to help He-Man at the end of the series. So that's really cool. And let's go ahead now and look at some of these items equipped, especially on Orko. All right, first taking a look at our Orko with this little part here, the extension, I'm calling it, of his scarf. There's a little tab, if you'll notice, just underneath that scarf piece on his back, little clear tab. And this will just tab right in, and then that kind of will cover it up, the other part, so you can see how it kind of whooshes out behind him. And that is how you install that extension piece, and that is significant in the show. Just we'll say that you'll see that scarf piece kind of almost like it moves independently to help Orko, or he's able to use it that way anyway. It's like casting a little bit of a shadow there under him. Just take a look at those eyes. They look really good. It's looking really cool there. And this stand is nice and it will adjust. So let's go ahead and move that forward just a little bit. I want to bring attention to this piece right here. There's actually a spring-loaded mechanism. So if you reach your finger up underneath it, you can open that up like that. And so then you're able to take this effect piece here and it's also on a hinge. So the first thing you'd want to do is open that up like so, and then you want to adjust it after you open up that piece back here on the stand, is get Orko kind of inside of it there so you don't have anything interfering, and then opening up that hinge piece like so. Get that blue effect piece sandwiched in there. You see it snapping into place there, just like so. And then adjust it so that Orko is in the middle of it, kind of surrounded by it. And there you have it. You can have that effect piece just like that, like there's a force that's surrounding him. And you can adjust it a little bit the way you need to because of the hinge there. Move it up or down, however you want to do it. And then you can also adjust his piece slightly there like that, as well as under his skirt piece will adjust also. And you can even turn him side to side. So you'll be able to adjust in several different ways there. There we go. Also, went ahead and put it on one arm there, but you just see these little effect pieces here, these little magic spell looking effect pieces have a slit, so you could just open that up and go around the hand and the wrist and turn it in the position where you're not going to see the slit as much, and then you have that effect as well. So that's cool, really neat. Go ahead and turn him this way. Get his effect pieces turning. There we go. All right, so you see how that works. It's a complete, he's complete now. Cool. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our Orko's articulation. And first of all, taking a look at this stand, you can see that you can twist the stand from side to side like so, because there is a place in the bottom, but you can also bend it back and forth like so at the base, and then up top here you can also bend it back and forth like that. You're not going to be able to turn anything up here, but when you put this up inside of Orko and snap it into the whole peg hole in his underskirt area, you will be able to twist him, of course, and somewhat of a ball joint, just kind of move him slightly as well as with that hinge. So that is the articulation of that cool stand. Now let's go ahead and look at Orko's articulation. A little bit more of a articulation than what we saw in the first Revelation Orko. He is going to be able to look down and up like so, and get some side to side motion. Of course, look back and forth there as well. So he's going to be able to look up a good amount. He's going to be able to look down so far that he hides his face with his scarf. So, you know, he could come out kind of hidden like so. But no motion to his ears on Orko. The hat is not going to come off unless you break the glue up in there, but you can pop his head off, of course. There's a ball joint which moves up in there, which would allow you technically to remove this, but it looks like this is also glued on, or actually it's pegged in under there. So you're not really going to want to take that part off. I like the fact that he's got the O on his chest. It's kind of like, you know, techno looking O. All right, his elbows are on a swivel right here and a hinge, single jointed hinge, so he's going to be able to go in and out and swivel, so that's good. Then his shoulders are going to be able to go up. There is a hinge up underneath here, so you're going to be able to go up and down, basically a T pose out like that. He's going to be able to get full 360 on both sides, so you have that hinge and swivel at the elbow and shoulder on both sides. And that's pretty much it, because as you see, there's that peg hole in the bottom of his skirt area, and so you have a really cool Orko. So when you put, again, this up in there, you're going to pop that peg up inside of him like so until you hear it pop, and then he's going to be able to be adjusted on his stand. Glad it's transparent. That's a good touch. He's going to be able to go down. He's going to be able to look up. He's going to be able to go side to side as well, some there like so. And if you turn it up in there like that, then you're going to be able to do the side to side. Yep. So you're going to be able to have some options there for your Orko. You'll be able to bring his arms down. I'm going to have to paint my extension here, the gold trim on it for sure. You can see how it's supposed to be, and they just left the gold off of it, looks like. All right, cool. Now let's take a look at our Gwildor's articulation. Gwildor's articulation is quite a bit more extensive. He does have hinges on his ears, so his ears will go up and down as well as turn all the way around, of course. But there is a hinge up in there. I don't know if you can see it. Yep, you can see it there. So you can make him look sad, like his ears are droopy, or you can have his ears go all the way up like that and have them turned at whatever angle you want to, have them kind of going back or have them up like that, and he can show his expressions like that. He's going to be able to look up a really good amount. The shoulder armor is getting in the way just a little bit, but it'll look up like that. He's going to be able to look down all the way. He also gets a little bit of tilt. It's a little bouncy because, again, those shoulder pads, but he can look side to side with no problems. The shoulder pads may try to go with it there, but you can certainly, you can pop that head off and you would be able to remove the shoulder pads and technically even that outer coat, but the arms look really weird where they go in at the shoulders. So you don't think you'd want to do that, but just showing you that it is a possibility there. So I'm going to pop that back on there, but he has a really good range of motion for his head. All right, going on to his arms, he will get 360, even though that again, the shoulder pad kind of gets in the way a little bit, but he will go hit a T pose there. So not very much limits on his shoulders. No bicep swivel that I can see here, but he does have a swivel at the elbow. Now these little shoulder or actually elbow pads are completely free floating. They can move back or they can move up, but they're kind of meant to cover up that joint, but I'll get you to see the joint there and the hinge. Only problem is on this side, mine is frozen. I cannot get his elbow to bend, but it will rotate, but I just can't get mine to bend, and I've not been able to heat it up properly enough to get it to bend. But he does have hinge and swivel, horizontal hinges and swivels at both hands. As I said, no extra hands for these guys. Now on this side, I can get that single jointed elbow to bend fine, and it gets at least 90 degrees there, I would say. And also swivels at the elbow instead of having a bicep swivel. So again, covering up that elbow with that band, that red band is right there. All right, let's go on to his diaphragm. Yes, he has a cut of the diaphragm here, and he can crunch forward about that far, and he can even bend back about that far and show his belly a little bit there. So yes, you can go side to side. You can even get some hula hoop motion going on here, going full round and round with that diaphragm joint, which is really pretty excellent. All right, up underneath here, he does have the ability to swivel at the thigh as well as at the knee. Instead of a boot cut, it's more of a knee cut, and he has a hinge, a single jointed hinge at the knee there, as well as, of course, our typical boots that will go tiptoes, go up a good amount, and he has excellent rockers with a peg hole in the bottom. And so technically, you could get this fella to kind of sit. If you could get some of this stuff out of the way, he can kind of get into a seated position. It's just this hard plastic semi-hard and soft plastic is going to get in the way. But yeah, he does have a body up underneath there. It's not very detailed, but there is that form underneath there, and I've not had any problems with him standing and you know, getting some poses, so that's really good. I think for this small of a figure, I think his articulation was pretty decent. I do wish that he looked a little less toy-y, like a toy, you know, in the sense of less shine on his face, a little bit more of maybe some wash in his hair, just some detail to his ears. Somebody that's good with artistic painting on action figures could really do a good job on this Gwildor to make him just pop. Even his clothes, you know, it's just so bright. He just looks, I don't know, I would almost say that Orko's looks a little bit more realistic than this guy. He just looks so bright, and orange hair, you know, just such a contrast of shine and brightness to the skin tone, almost that orange like we saw in the original He-Man, and then the bright colors without any texture. I may try to paint just a black wash over some of this just to tone it down a little bit, even in his hair. I don't know, it would seem to give a little bit of realism in my opinion, but I thought it was kind of cool that in the Revolution series, he kind of lived in what looked to be a hobbit hole almost, from like The Hobbit or from Lord of the Rings. So I thought that was kind of cool. So I might pretend, you know, kind of like that he's in that I don't know, that species or that class of a Eternian, almost like, you know, a hobbit of sorts. But really cool. All right, now let's do some comparisons, at least with our Orko, and of course both with some other action figures, because this is the first Gwildor I've ever owned. But let's go ahead and do some of those comparisons. And here is our classics Orko. You can definitely see how small he is and how simplistic he is with his eyes. And then you see the Revelation on the right and Revolution on the left Orko. So you see Revelation Orko, a little bit of a droopy ear, scrawny arms, you know, ragged looking clothes. So even though we don't get the traditional colors, you know, of our Orko, we get kind of like a resurrected and renewed Orko, which I really like him, especially in the new Revolution series. He is really awesome. And so I like this new incarnation and upgrade, if you will, of Orko personally. Eyes are very similar. You can see these eyes look just a little brighter maybe, and a little bit more yellow than these. And then you have the Origins Orko, which is more of a throwback to your Filmation / 80s toy Orko. And I really like this one as well. He has really good articulation, and you have more of your traditional look. If you want to use him, they all fit in basically that scale of the 6 to 7 inch scale for the Orko of this size, a smaller figure. I like the metallic gold that he has on his trim with this new Orko. They are looking awesome. And here is our He-Man, Revolution He-Man, along with Revolution Orko. And really that's technically a new Eternia Man-at-Arms from Wave 12 with a Hordak MX head sculpt, but I like him for Revolution as well. He had kind of a fancy outfit on, different outfits. So wonder if we will get a new Man-at-Arms. We'll see. But then there's Gwildor with his staff looking pretty cool there, alongside these other action figures. So there we have it. You have your Orko and Gwildor. Thank you so much for checking out this review. Please come back and see us again. Be blessed. Here's some photos in the photos gallery.